Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you very much for being here today. My name is José Raúl, and I speak on behalf of the Gandhi-Mandela Foundation in Spain and the FundacionCD. Both organizations work closely to promote peace, human rights, and freedom with a strong and clear focus on gender. We believe something very simple but very important. There is no real peace if people are excluded, and there is no peace without respect. For this reason, our work highlights three ideas that we see as essential for peaceful societies: women leadership, new masculinities, and respect for gender diversity. From this collaboration comes a new initiative called Inspiring Dialogues. They aren't conferences. They are a space where people meet, listen to other, and reflect together. Everyone has the opportunity to speak. Let me briefly explain how today's session will work. First, I will explain the rule for participation. Second, we will hear an opening perspective on the topic. Third, we'll discuss the first question, and participants who wish to speak will have 2 minutes each. Then we will move to the second question. At the end of the session, we have a final reflection, and then we close. The goal of this dialogue is not debate. The goal is listening. The goal is respect. The goal is understanding. These dialogues matter because the world today needs safe space, a space to listen, to accept difference, and to build bridges. Now, it's my honor to introduce the person who will guide us into the next part of today's dialogue. Dr. Saima Abdel from the United Arab Emirates is a member of the International Advisory Board of the Gandhi-Mandela Foundation. She is a medical specialist, an entrepreneur, and a global leader. Her work connects health, science, innovation, and women's empowerment, and she brings an international perspective, a strong commitment to cooperation, and a clear voice for inclusive leadership. We are very, very grateful to have her with us today. Dear Saima, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. President Jose Rosa, President of Gandhi Foundation of Gandhi-Mandela Foundation, and Mr. Vice President Dr. Ignacio Bonassa, the Vice President of Foundation, for this kind invitation and for their inspiring leadership. I'd like to extend my gratitude to all esteemed members for this valuable opportunity. It is an honor and a pleasure for me to join and to contribute to this meaningful dialogue. And I'm especially honored to serve as member of the advisory board of the Gandhi-Mandela Foundation. The values represented by Gandhi-Mandela Foundation, peace, dignity, justice, and dialogue, are deeply important in today's world, and I'm grateful to be a part of a space that encourages reflection, respectful conversation, and the shared understanding across differences. Today, I look forward to engage with you as we explore our topics together with openness, respect, and share the commitment to peace. I'm honored to introduce the perspective of our discussion today under the title Embracing Gender Diversity for Peace. This session is not about debate or reaching agreement. It's about reflection, listening, and the shared knowledge and understanding values that are deeply aligned with the spirit of Gandhi-Mandela Foundation. First of all, what do we mean by peace? When we speak about peace, we often think only the absence of war or violence. However, peace is much broader than that. Peace also means social harmony, mutual respect, dignity, and the ability of the people to live together without fear or exclusion. It means having societies where differences are not seen as threats, but as part of our shared human reality. Sustainable peace cannot exist if certain groups feel invisible, unheard, or excluded from social life. Furthermore, understanding the gender diversity. We have to know that gender diversity refers to the reality that people experience and express their identities in different ways. And these differences exist in every society, culture, and historical period. Embracing gender diversity doesn't require uniform thinking or shared beliefs. Rather, it requires recognition of human dignity, respect for differences, and the willingness to coexist peacefully despite them. When gender diversity is misunderstood or rejected, it can lead to fear, stigma, and exclusion. And these dynamics can weaken social trust and increase division within communities. Additionally, why gender diversity matters for peace. The connection between gender diversity and peace lies in inclusion. Inclusive societies tend to be more stable because people feel that they belong and that their voices matter. When individuals feel respected, they are more likely to engage in dialogue and community life. Exclusion, on the other hand, can lead to marginalization, silence, and frustration. Over time, this can tension and undermine social cohesion. From a social and a public health perspective, inclusion supports mental health well-being, participation, and resilience, all of which are important foundations for peaceful societies. Moreover, linking to dialogue and reconciliation. Dialogue and reconciliation require safe spaces, and these are spaces where people can speak honestly, listen respectfully, and engage without fear of judgment or rejection. Embracing gender diversity helps create such spaces. It encourages empathy, understanding, and recognition of shared humanity even when perspectives differ. Importantly, acceptance does not mean agreement. It means choosing respect over exclusion and the dialogue over division. These choices are essential for reconciliation processes at both community and social levels. With this perspective in mind, today's question invites us to reflect on two important dimensions. The first one, how exclusion based on gender identity can affect peace in our societies. The second one, how acceptance of gender diversity can strengthen dialogue and reconciliation. These reflections are personal, social, and collective, and there are no right or wrong answers here, only shared knowledge, experiences, and insights that can deepen our understanding. I hope this introduction helps frame our dialogue with openness, respect, and curiosity. I look forward to listening and learning from the reflections that will follow. And thank you so much for your kind attention. I now pass the floor to continue with our program.
Wow, thank you very much, Saima.
You're most welcome.
Let's begin with today's first question, where everyone is welcome to join in. To guide us in this reflection, I'm pleased to introduce Teresa Ajeman from Ghana.
Yeah.
Teresa,
Thank you. Hi. Yeah.
a moment, please, Teresa. Teresa is a public health nurse, the founding director of the Ghana Exchange Volunteer Organization. For many years, she has worked with vulnerable communities, especially in rural areas where access to healthcare, education, and basic service is limited. Teresa will introduce the question and then invite participants who wish to speak to share their reflection. Teresa, thank you very much for your commitment and your leadership, and you have the floor.
Thank you, Dr. Joyce. Thank you. Thank you, everybody here. I'm grateful for this opportunity because as a public health nurse, this is a very important topic for me to talk about because I have been in rural areas so many years and I've dealt with the adolescents for so many years. And these are some of the opportunities we need to get to express what we have seen on the field, but not what we have read from the book. Thank you very much. So our first question look at how exclusion based on gender identity affects peace in our society when people are excluded, ignored, discriminated against because of who they are. And I'm here to let you know that everything we are talking about, starting from Dr. Shema and everything that he says, it doesn't affect the individual alone. It affects the society, it affects the community and the nation at large. So this is a very good topic that I would like to talk about this so that we have a discussion. As a public health nurse, in my expertise in community-based care, as an adolescent health promoter, I've come across all these problems during the development of the child health or the development of the adolescent, where in some of the stages growing up, they see where social acceptance and identity and belonging has a significant impact on the adolescent. Exclusive or prejudices can have a long-term precautions on mental, social relationship and participating in social adolescents, where we have met all these students in some communities why how female adolescents wish to be a male and male adolescents wish to be a female, and the society, religion, culture and norms are depriving them. You can realize these people have been rejected, they have been discriminated because they don't have the chance to be whom they are. You can go to have promotion adolescent health in schools and you realize some of these children have been set aside. When you ask them questions pertaining to their own health, they lack the conscience to even come close and answer. When you get close to them, you realize that in the classroom they have been discriminated, they have been excluded, that they are not good academically, which has affected them. Some has already dropped out of school, and this adolescent has had a mental depression, psychological issue that their parents are not even aware of what is it, because they say that I'm not going back to school, and the parents does not have anything to say, like to say you are lazy or you are not intelligent. I mean, when you go to the deprived areas, this is what happens there. But if you get close to the adolescent, you realize that they'll be discriminated in class. You are not good in science, you are not good in maths, but you can see that adolescent is good in creative, in skills, in something different that is not classroom alone. But because of discrimination, but sometimes even some of the teachers in the class that discriminate them, so it makes the adolescent pick it up. Some of them in the rural areas walk. I have a boy that walks like a girl. And he told me that I want to be a girl. And I said, fine, you have the right to choose whatever you want to be because that is what the person feel. But once he said that, he has been discriminated by the teacher already, that he is a devil, because it's only a devil that can change from one side to the other side, which has really affected the students. So adolescents who are exclusive due to their gender identity may experience stigma, social disengagement, limited access to supportive resources, psychological suffering, and in certain situations, conflicts even in the family, because the mothers don't even accept them. Hey, you are not like my friend's child, so I will not accept you. So at this stage, this is what I would like to say a little bit about social inclusion. And so I would like to say, when it comes to social exclusion, when it comes to social inclusion, it will be very important that we accept it, both adults and old. We accept that if we include them, that will rather help them grow mentally healthy. But if we exclude them, we are rather killing them. And most of this, I had a child that nearly committed suicide, that I have to get close to him, bring him close to me, because even the family, the mother and the father did not understand. So they stigmatized him. They rejected him from the house until I explained it to the parents. So adolescents are the main people. As a public health nurse, I've seen them suffer from this crisis very well. So at this point, I would like to know how to invite our participants to share their thoughts on their experience on this question. And I would like that they will spend 2 to 3 minutes exactly on each question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before the people want to participate, Congratulations, Teresa. What passion, what passion you have to. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Najet, please.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Professor Najet Zamouri, and I am a human rights defender and expert in feminist pedagogy. Over the past 3 decades, I've worked to promote gender equality and protect women's rights both in Tunisia and internationally. And I currently co-chair the Tunisian League for Human Rights, which is a Nobel Peace Prize laureate organization in 2015. Yeah, it's a very good question, actually. So exclusion, in my point of view, which is based on gender identity, has a serious impact on peace in our societies, especially in the MENA and North Africa region. Peace is not only about the absence of conflict or the absence of war, as it was told before me. It's about people feeling safe, respected, and included. In many countries, especially in our region, people who do not fit traditional gender norms face discrimination, harassment, and sometimes criminalization. When people live in fear of the police, fear of society, fear of being exposed, or even fear of their own parents, trust in institutions disappears. And without trust, peace cannot exist. We have also seen how gender identity is used as a political tool. During times, for example, of economic or political crisis, certain groups are blamed or portrayed as a threat to society. This creates moral panic, increases hate speech, and legitimizes violence. So instead of solving real problems, societies become divided and polarized. Exclusion also weakens peace-building efforts, like when some voices are silenced or erased from public life. Dialogue becomes incomplete. You cannot build sustainable peace while denying the dignity and rights of part of the population. So at the end, on the other hand, inclusion strengthens peace. When societies respect diversity and protect personal freedoms, people feel they belong. In the MENA and North Africa region, recognizing gender diversity is not about importing foreign values. No, not at all. It's about human rights, social cohesion, and lasting stability. So in short, excluding people because of their gender identity does not protect peace, but it undermines it. And thank you very much for listening to me.
Okay, thank you very much, Najet. Very interesting, your reflection. Everyone want to speak? Another person?
Can I go ahead? Can you hear me?
Yes, Librada?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Do I have the floor?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you so much. It's very interesting insights that all of you, the two predecessors, have shared with us. I would like to share with you some specific point of view as far as I am concerned on this gender diversity and the peace or the absence of peace. As you say, the peace is a way of living. It's not just an absence of war, as you say. It's a way of living in harmony, accepting the differences of other people. And sometimes we used to think that the other people are different, and we don't take into account that we are different to other peoples also. As we see the other people that they are different to us, the other people also see us as different from them. with this perspective, I think we can relax everybody's mindset when you try to exclude somebody because he's not fitting the way you think everybody must be or standardized, as everything is standardized now, and society how can I say this? Society expect all the people to be like clone in every way or what we can think as way of being. And it's not easy to be all equals. I wrote a book in 2001 that is called Aprendo a ser tolerante in Spanish, is my mother tongue. Aprendo a ser tolerante is I learned to be tolerant. I have the translation into English and into French. And it was at the beginning thought to teach children to accept the differences of the other people, of the other children. But when I finished this book oriented for children, I realized that adult people needed even more than children. Because I realized that during the growing process of all human beings, all surround you fit how you are as character and how you become as a person who accepts people with different sizes, different races, different culture, different countries, whatever the difference is. There is always something that is different from one another person. That is why I wrote this book. It's a very easy book to read, really very focused on how do you feel if you are done so as you think you can do so to another person. To give us something more updated, I'm about to publish another one that is leadership in, how can I call this in English? Liderazgo entre credos. It's like leadership among different beliefs, something like that. And this is focused about, for one side, I'm talking about being a woman, for example, myself, being a Black woman, being an aged woman, and living in a society where to be aged after 40, you are too old for this, and that. If you are a woman, you are too woman for this, and that. If you are a Black woman, you are too Black for this, and that. All these things are arguments that people use to make discrimination or exclusion. What is the relation between this and the peace? Whatever the society, community, or institution that is full of people, the more people believe in they belong, the more peaceful this environment will be. When the people think they don't belong, at the first step, they can accept it, because if the majority of the people consider you that you are not fitting in the normal acceptance of the human being should be, you will feel like excluded, as you explained before. But this can stand for one time, 1 year, 2 years, 100 years, but one day it will just explode. That is how it's important we build this tolerance to ourselves, engaging in the comprehension of, first of all, we are different from the other people. Not the other people are different from us, because this is a little bit of too much ego, thinking that we are normal and the other people are different. Because we are different, the other people maybe are normal. Let me conclude with one example. When I was very young, I was making these jobs, or student job, and in Spain, in your country, Jose Raul, and a couple of aged men and women enter in the shop where I was working, looking for somebody, and they say, "We're looking for a woman who enters here. Have you seen her? What kind of woman?" a normal woman, the person said. And I asked her at that moment, what is normal for you? Normal, like me. And at that time, I think I was like 19 or 20 years, I don't remember. And I told her, for me, I'm very normal. You are the one who's not normal. I think this example can explain how easy it is to think that we are the one who have, we are doing some kind of goodness, accepting the other people's differences. And it's not really true, because the ego think or make us to think that we are normal, we are accepted, and the other people are normal, and we are doing the effort of accepting them. This is what my insight to share with you. Thank you.
Teresa?
Yeah, hello. I'm here.
Okay, any question or any intervention?
Yes, I would like to add on to say that the generation where peace is lacking most, just like Madame Libreda Ella said right now, we should, we as the ambassadors of this program right now, this topic right now, when we go back to our society, we should start, because as kids, if we don't let them know how important peace is, then we are going to get children growing to the adolescents and become an adult who does not understand peace very well. When she was speaking, she made mention of something very important, and we all must learn from it, because she said that peace is not just just seeing war or something, but peace is how we live with people in a community. So this way of thinking, our way of thinking, our way of doing things, our way of speaking to people can let them be exclusive from us, can let them be far away from us, because what comes out of us, how we position ourselves with people, with the individuals we meet at the workplaces, in our society, in our community, in our religious places, in our firms, wherever we find ourselves is very important. Like she gave an example of how she was young. So you could say these are physical things, not reading from a book or a story or something. These are physical things that happens in our community, in our society, and wherever we find ourselves. Like me, that I am a public health nurse, I live in a deprived community where I meet a lot of students. And this is a very good thing that she talked about that really helped me. That means that not peace is not catch when they say there is a war, they are shooting, looting, people are shouting alone. But the way we live with people, the way we live with people, it's very, very, very important, and it's bring people to close to us, that makes us feel that they are at peace with us. So if I put myself in a position whereby it will prevent people, it will exclude people from me, I stigmatize every person that I see, the way I talk to people, the way I do my things, that I sabotage or I discriminate people, they are like this, they are not like me, that one alone is unpeaceful situation. And it will exclude people far away from me. So let's focus more on the inclusive, how we can accept people, just like we said, how we can accept people whoever they are, however they are, and rather bring them close for a peaceful community, a peaceful nation, or a peaceful society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Teresa. Before to end this fair question, we had an intervention. Soki, please. Sorry for my pronunciation today.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. My name is Shoki. I live in South Africa, but I'm a Ugandan. My concern about embrace, when you look into the topic of the day, embracing diversity as a way of promoting peace, the question is, what do we stand as diverse? What did we stand as embracing? Before we discuss about, we are all doing very great work with diversity, and we are not forgetting, but a bit skipping the word embrace. So if we can get back to our reflection and we reflect on what really counts is to embrace it. We are living in a generation where people tolerate others. Quote the word tolerate. People tolerate others. For example, I can tolerate your other behaviors, other characters, so that I can still be a friend with you. But in actual sense, we can't build peace where there is tolerance. We can only build peace where we can embrace. So we need, first of all, to find people to find definition of different scenarios and acceptances. Looking into embracing, we look at embracing, also look into the concept of partnership. I was working at a mosque one day, 1 year back, and one of the things I learned more is acknowledgement. Yeah, acknowledgement. One of the best way we can embrace diversity is by acknowledging the beauty it comes with. Not exactly who people are, but the beauty they come with, who they are, is what matters. Because we need, for example, let's use an example of LGBTQI plus community. If we, for example, if you're looking for a project manager at your office, you'll not, and fortunately, you employ a gay person, this person is not going to use his or her gender to do the work. Is going to use his skills to deliver. So people at one time, they forget what exactly people brings on the table and focuses on who they are, not what they deliver. So as we would look into the concept of building peace, we can look into what value the diversity brings on the table, instead of looking into what the whole diversity is about, but what diversity brings on the table. We can't have partnership if we are not acknowledging. That's why I'm getting back to the word acknowledging. We can't have partnership. We can't have transparency. We can't have anything if we are not acknowledging the diversity of it. Before anything, we have to teach children. We have to teach ourselves from ourselves, because my good last speaker said peace is something we live with. I would love to say peace is a living thing, and it's a tangible object.
Yeah.
Peace is a living thing and a tangible object that we can't reach where we want. It's just a journey we live to. So we have to every day, we have to remind ourselves from our own selves to choose peace every day. Every day we have to choose peace, because peace is a living thing. But the question is, how many times do you choose peace on a practical basis on a human being, like your own self? How many times do you choose peace on a daily basis? It's yes. Very, when we want to teach about peace, we have also to reflect on our own practical personalities. If for example, if we are not having on this call and we talk about peace from your own point of view in your own room, do you really talk peace like your own soul? Do you talk peace to your soul? Then if you can't choose peace every time you have a conversation with yourself, then we're going to have these conversations online from tomorrow, the other day, because we shall never achieve peace. But one thing is, let's look into the concept of acknowledging. Let's celebrate diversity. When you teach people to celebrate diversity, people will understand what diversity brings on the table. Because we are living in a generation where we look more on the faults, not on the beauty of it. So, like, if a teacher comes in the class right now and starts teaching, people will not even clap the hands. But the moment he or she makes a mistake, every kid will be like, wow. Why? It's because everyone is eager to identify a mistake, but not to celebrate the goodness. So we need to teach people how to celebrate goodness. That's the only best way we can embrace diversity. Otherwise, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we move to our second question of the dialogue. To guide this part, We are very happy to have Raquel Valle from Spain. Raquel is a lawyer, writer, and international speaker. She is president of the Alma Canarias Association, general director in Spain of the FundacionCD, and advisor of the Gandhi-Mandela Foundation. She also leads important projects in equality, education, and support for victims of gender violence. Raquel, thank you for being with us today. The floor is yours to introduce the topic. Remember, open the discussion and make a final summary. A moment, Raquel. Rogelio, I said you. After Raquel, I give you the word, okay? Thank you. Welcome, Raquel.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you, Jose Raul, for the presentation and this opportunity. Today, I will moderate the second question of the inspirational dialogue. For centuries, the different have been used to build walls instead of bridges. When we speak of gender diversity, we are talking about the fundamental right to exist in freedom. When a society embraces the diversity, dialogue becomes a space for connection. Everybody can participate in this question during 2 or 3 minutes approximately. The question is, how can the acceptance of gender diversity strengthen dialogue and reconciliation?
Thank you, Raquel. Rogelio, can you speak now?
José Raúl, muy buenos días en Perú. Soy presidente de la Fundación Gandhi-Mandela. Ante la ley de Dios, todos somos iguales. El amor es lo más humilde que tiene el ser humano que disponemos. La educación es la base para derrotar la pobreza. Yo sigo a Gandhi desde muy niño, sigo sus principios. Para mí es un gusto estar en contacto con personas de diferentes partes del mundo, gracias a la Fundación Gandhi-Mandela. Yo estoy a la orden para cada uno de ustedes desde mi país de origen. Tenemos muchas cosas para ofrecer al mundo. Es la parte de Sudamérica. Cuando gusten, estoy atento para servirlos a ustedes. El futuro depende de lo que hagas hoy. Es una frase de Gandhi. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Rogelio, por estar siempre ahí apoyando nuestro trabajo, tanto de mujeres líderes como del Instituto Nueva Masculinidad o ahora de la Gandhi-Mandela. Thank you very much, Rogelio, for your support. And also, I hope to work with you in Peru soon. Bye.
Gracias.
And Najel, please.
Sorry if I take the floor for the second time, because I feel I'm really very, very concerned about both topics. So I want to share with you my own experience as a human rights defender. I have learned that dialogue begins when people feel recognized as human beings, not just as problems. This principle guided the decisive role played by the Tunisian League for the Defense of Human Rights, which is my organization. We played this role during Tunisia's democratic transition. At a moment of a deep political crisis, it helped facilitate inclusive dialogue, defended fundamental rights and freedoms, and promoted non-violent solutions, contributing to stability and consensus in a deeply polarized society. We led what we call the national dialogue. That's why we were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2015. But as we are speaking about now gender equality, etc., and diversity, in many of the spaces I work in, especially in the MENA and North Africa region, people who do not conform to traditional gender norms are often silenced or pushed to the margins. When someone lives in fear or invisibility, they cannot truly engage in dialogue. And acceptance creates safety, and safety allows people to speak, to listen, and connect. I have also seen how exclusion damages reconciliation. So societies cannot heal when they deny the existence or dignity of some of their members. So reconciliation requires acknowledging harm and restoring trust. Accepting gender diversity is a way of saying, between brackets, you belong, your experience matters, and your dignity is non-negotiable. On a very human level, acceptance changes relationships. It replaces suspicion with empathy and confrontation with conversation. When people are allowed to be themselves, dialogue becomes more honest and differences are no longer seen as threats. At last, for me, of course, acceptance of gender diversity is not an abstract idea or a foreign concept, a Western concept, as we usually say in my region. No, it is a practical condition for peace. It strengthens social cohesion, opens a space for reconciliation, and helps our societies move forward together rather than against one another. And thank you very much to listen to me.
Thank you, Nayet. I will give the floor to Nishat Shali.
Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity, Raquel. And Najit, how beautifully you put it across that, exclusion damages the reconciliation. I believe that's going to be my headline for the next post for my LinkedIn and for my other social media, sites. So that was really beautiful. I certainly, coming from the community, I do understand, when there is no acceptance of the diversity of the genders and, the area that you come from, whichever part of the world you are from, it definitely, it breaks the bridge to be on the path where we could, create a safe space, a psychological safe space for everyone to, come and have that kind of a dialogue. So it is really important for us to, let people be themselves, be empathetic, and let us be open to listen to them. We all are so eager to, talk that, okay, this is what I believe, this is what I believe, this is how it should be like. But I believe, when we let people be themselves and the least we could do is just listen to them. I believe that's the stepping stone of creating a room for acceptance and so that people can be themselves, they can be free to express themselves and open to dialogue, express themselves, and the listener can be empathetic. And that's the road we got to, build to have the kind of a right conversation. Uh, there's always going to be pros and cons for it. However, you know, I believe that's the beauty to reach to the reconciliation that, okay, with the pros and the cons, if we are still empathetic and let people be themselves, and I can be myself and you can be yourself, and that's the road that, we can build to reach the right path. So thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you, Nishat. The next person is Rubén Gómez from Peru.
Ok, muy buenas tardes a todos ustedes. Ante todo, mi nombre es Rubén Gómez Sánchez Soto, soy de Lima, Perú. He sido invitado por Rogelio, un gran amigo que tengo. Incluso les comento, y bueno, primeramente, agradezco mucho por todos los puntos vertidos el día de hoy. Y anoche también estuvimos en un evento en la Embajada de la India, sumamente importante. Y ahora quiero mencionar que evidentemente Gandhi es una de las personas muy seguidas en el mundo. Hay millones de seguidores de él y lo importante es pues que él elevó la no violencia de un principio ético a una estrategia política poderosa y transformadora. Un tema que actualmente en nuestro mundo global lo necesitamos de una manera intensa. Por eso felicito este evento y continuaré asistiendo según las invitaciones que reciba. Muchas gracias. Thank you for listening to me.
Gracias, Rubén, por tu intervención. Thank you, Rubén. And we go to Librada Ella.
Sí, buenas tardes. Voy a hacer un guiño a mis colegas ahí de América Latina. Voy a responder en español. Is there translation for everybody? Ok, entonces puedo continuar en español. Bien, pienso que es importante que por el sentido normal básico de cualquier sentido común, no sé cómo decirlo, elemental, hay muchos tipos de personas en este mundo. Eso no hay que hacer ni una cátedra para entender que hay un montón de personas diferentes. Y cada lugar geográfico donde se encuentran esas personas que son diferentes, también tiene unas especificidades culturales que están asociadas a esa diferencia que ya existe. Entonces, es importante, primero, que entendamos que cuando nos trasladamos de un lugar para otro y no tenemos dificultades en aceptar dentro de un espacio diferente al de nuestra hábitat normal, la gente nos extraña cuando viaja a un sitio diferente y encuentra otras cosas. Normalmente uno comprende y acepta que así se hace en este lugar, sin mucho problema. Eso significa que en el foro interno de cualquier ser humano es capaz de aceptar, incluso dentro de su lugar normal de vida y de hábitat, y hay personas que también pueden ser diferentes. Entonces, si estamos hablando de la diversidad de género, concretamente, discúlpenme, ¿me estoy tanto? Sí, por favor, estoy en una reunión virtual. Le llamo. ¿Quién es? Ok. Entonces, es importante que entendamos que la diversidad de género, alguien ha hablado de reconciliación. Eso me hace hacer otra reflexión. ¿Qué va antes, el remedio o la prevención? Yo siempre pienso que hay que llegar a algunos puntos donde no se necesita poner remedios, porque la prevención ha sido suficientemente efectiva. ¿A qué me refiero con esto? No hace falta hacer reconciliación si todos hacemos un esfuerzo, porque la pregunta es, ¿cómo se llega a una armonía, digamos, y evitar los conflictos? Los conflictos tienen distintas escalas. Para que un conflicto se vuelva realmente una ruptura de paz, tiene que haber salido de una escala normal hasta explotar, podemos decirlo así, porque los conflictos nacen, crecen y se multiplican. Voy a decirlo así, de una forma un poco graciosa, puedo decirlo así coloquial, pero es así. Para que haya una ruptura total es porque hemos dejado pasar todas las etapas previas sin hacer absolutamente nada. Es cuando llega, hay que ir a la reconciliación. Alguien decía también, ¿qué actos hacemos todos los días para poder preservar la paz? La primera forma de aceptar que la paz debe existir es aceptar que hay personas que no son diferentes, que son diferentes, que no piensan igual que nosotros y no por eso son nuestros enemigos, ni
Gracias,
nuestros inferiores.
gracias, Libra.
Gracias.
Different idea, different people, and the main point is the respect. We continue with Goodwin Pamitso. Oops. Okay, we're going to
Thank you. I'm
okay.
here.
Perfect.
Thank you for this platform. It is a privilege that I'm representing almost 500 refugees, LGBT refugees. And that is a clear sign that refugees have been forced from their countries of origin because of persecution and violence due to their gender identities and sexual orientation. and they are forced to flee to other countries. But again, on reaching into other countries, they pass through a lot of social injustices, a lot of violences, a lot of harassment, and this is what I'm going to talk about in relation to how exclusion affects gender diversity. I want to thank you. I don't work alone. As a leader, I can see one of the representatives I work with is also on this platform, and I'm thankful for him. I want to talk about exclusion by the government systems, because when we are discussing embracing diversity, we also need to understand what are the challenges that are people facing as advocates, as human rights defenders. What are we going to do to make sure that we embrace diversity and avoid social exclusion? We must know what are the challenges. What I'm giving you is firsthand, because I'm a refugee myself, and as a leader, I've seen firsthand challenges that my fellow LGBT refugees are passing through. First of all, I will talk about government systems. People who have fled from Burundi, people who have fled from Somalia, LGBT people who have fled from Uganda, and they have gone to Kenya, for example. This is the first time when I was in Kenya. I've witnessed a lot of exclusion from the government. This is a systemic discrimination. And when we talk about that, it means that refugees, when the government discriminates refugees, especially due to their statuses, they provoke the entire refugee community to be against these refugees. So this is the first thing that I've witnessed on the people that I lead. And there has been always delayed and blocked asylum processes. So it means when there is a delayed asylum status and a delayed refugee status determination, it means this refugee is not given international protection. So he's exposed to all the harassments and all the attacks and the violences for who this refugee is. So this, it has affected them. It has affected them. They have stayed in fear. They have always exposed to arbitrary arrests and deportation and violence. So when we talk about embracing diversity and how social exclusion affects peace, and these are the challenges. It begins with the government. For example, when I'm speaking on behalf of the refugees, it begins with the government where we flee to, where we seek refuge, where we seek asylum to. The government, first of all, the policies, the constitutions of the African governments do not support LGBTQ people, do not support some. They discriminate and treat others. They don't treat people equally. They don't treat refugees equally. So there's no peace at all. Another thing is social exclusion. The fellow refugees that we stay in, for example, they are not sensitized about who is LGBT, who is not LGBT. When they look at an LGBT person, a transgender person, a lesbian, they feel these are outcasts. They actually name my people. They name them devils. They name them caste people. So it means that the society is so much different in understanding the identities of the LGBTQ plus people. So it means if they cannot understand the identities, it is hard for them to support these people. It is hard for them to treat them, to protect them. It is hard for them to live with them, to coexist with them. So understanding at one point, even if there is harassment and violence and attacks, beginning from the top, the governments, and also going to the societies, there's lack of understanding. And also, I've witnessed humanitarian neglect. So when we are trying to really advocate and raising concerns on what is going on, how we are embracing diversity and so on, but we are trying to see now that the humanitarian sector has neglected the people, especially due to the agenda. Look at the USA. Look at what USA did. By the time that people were processed, asylum seekers were processed as refugees and were supposed to be resettled, were supposed to be given international protection in the US. So by that time, this is when the US government, the humanitarian sector, the humanitarian aid in the US stopped and they closed it. And it affected a lot, of refugees. This has been an example that the humanitarian sector is broken down. So as we are looking into all this, we have a lot of results and effects. Living alone peace, we have people, like for example, my people are suffering hunger. There is a crisis of hunger. They are starving to death because there is no humanitarian aid. And they are being attacked daily because the society is against them. As all of you who knows South Sudan is a war endemic area. The government the government was against us, and they said, we don't want you here. We don't want you to be asylum seekers in this country, because our society, our beliefs, and our cultures and our religions are different from your culture. We don't want you to spoil our culture. So that is the first question. I don't know if you have gone to another, but I wanted to summarize so that I can also tackle another question if I'm allowed.
Thank you, Godwin. We finally with Imma Alsina.
Yes? I didn't hear?
Yes, now we are going to Imma. We heard him.
Thank you, Raquel. It's an honor to be here and to have the opportunity to learn from all of you and to listen different views and perspectives. And what I would like to share is that I believe peace is the essence of the human being. I firmly believe peace is the essence of the human being. And why then we don't have peace? Because we are far away from that essence of who we really are. In peace, there is unity. And the real unity embraces all possibilities. So there is a beauty of diversity, because this diversity completes the unity and is much richer. And yeah, I just wanted to share this idea, this belief, and to thank deeply every one of you, because it's very important to have these inspirational dialogues to elevate, to promote consciousness, and to go forward to this essence of the human being. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Accepting the plurality of identity is the first step toward rebuilding our community. I give the word to Jose Raúl to make the close the topic.
Thank you very much, Raquel, and to all the participants. Very, very interesting, this first dialogue. We now arrive at the final reflection of our dialogue. For this important moment, we are grateful to have Ambassador Adewale Oso from the United Kingdom with us. Mr. Oso is a global strategist with more than 28 years of experience in agribusiness, finance, and sustainable development across Africa. He has worked from rural community in Senegal and the Gambia to international institutions such as the United Nations, ECOWAS, IFAD, and UNESCO. Mr. Oso, the floor is yours for the final reflection. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Rao. I'm happy to be among great colleagues, wonderful people that have expressed their views and on this, and I'm happy for that fantastic introduction. So that I'm not going to introduce myself again because you've hit, the ball at the right place. Thank you for your introduction, for introducing me. I'm very happy to be here among different colleagues, mixed colleagues. When I mean mixed colleagues in various professions, medical, other areas, social sciences, from what I've heard that you've said about, diversity, embracing gender diversity for peace. Mr. Rao, I guess you see sometimes when we're talking about peace, when sometimes I try to exchange some messages with you, I told you, I said, in anything we do, without peace, nothing works. And that is true. And I try to give you some example that is happening. Originally, I'm a native of, my nationality is Nigeria, right? And with at least most of us where we are all over the world, we know what is happening in Nigeria today with the ethnicity. I was in our discussions that we've been talking. I've never had anybody talked about ethnicity, but most of our colleagues here have talked about acceptance. But now I want to make it so clear a little bit. You see, we have 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria. We have the Yoruba, where I come from. We have the Hausa, and then we have the Igbo. These are the 3 major ethnic groups we have in Nigeria. But the main problem affecting these people are supposed to be together. But where there is no acceptance or acknowledgement, because first of all, most of our colleagues spoke about acknowledgement. I was happy about what Mr. Shoki talked about. I was so impressed about what Professor Najet also spoke about. And summarily, I was also impressed with what almost everybody talked about. You were able to hit the point where you are supposed to. You see, ethnicity is important. And ethnicity, between those ethnicity, they need what? Acknowledgement. You need to acknowledge yourself. And a gentleman came up and he was talking, I think Mr. I wrote his name down so that I can be able to, for people to understand. I think, is it Ruben Gomez? No, sorry. Somebody spoke very, very good. And he talked about that you be yourself and I am myself. You understand? Be yourself and you are yourself. Be who you are. Let me respect you for who you are in your ethnic, background. And you can see now, we have so many complicated issues as I'm talking to you. I'm sorry to say that I'm using a case study that I know, which is my country. Right? We have this issue, and except we acknowledge who we are and are able to accept ourselves, that certain things can fall into place and there can be peace. It's just like drawing, a triangle like this. You see, acknowledge yourself, ethnicity at the top, acknowledge yourself. When you acknowledge yourself, acceptance, then we will be in peace. Dialogue of self has already taken place. It is in acknowledging ourselves and accepting. Dialogue has already taken place. So I just see it that this is a very fantastic topic, very good. And I know it's like we are in an institution, the way I see us all together. So I pray and I hope that we will have more kind of program sometime soon again that will make us really understand where we're going when it comes to embracing gender diversity for peace. And that is it. Even ethnicity, inability not to accept ourselves, inability not to acknowledge is what lead to most of the present day war we are experiencing today. Or else there wouldn't be anything like that. It's still in the same fate of not being able to understand, okay, this ethnicity, you don't want this ethnic group to exist. You just want this one to exist. You see, because we have refused to acknowledge even who we are individually. And that is why we tend to find ourselves in these areas of problems. But I believe that we will get there sometime soon. Just not to take much of our time, because I think it's about 2 minutes for every discussion that takes place, because I respect time a lot. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. You are really a very good example from the people from Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all our moderators for your excellent work, and thank you to every person who has spoken. Your reflection made this dialogue meaningful. This is a space we build together with respect and with hope. I wish you all a very good day. We look forward to meeting again. Bye.